Hey, this is Chris Jericho of Fozzy, and by the way, our song Sandpaper's in the Loudwire Cage Match Hall of Fame. Ding. And you're watching Loudwire. Don't ever stop!
Hey everyone, Gruhamid from Loudwire here, and it's Wikipedia Fact or Fiction time with one Chris Jericho. I've really been wanting to get you in here for one of these segments ever since.
So tell me, so the point is you're going to read through Wikipedia and we're going to find out what's true and what's not true?
Yes.
Okay,
exactly.
Okay, cool.
We'll start off with this one. On April 13th, 2014, you died. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fact.
Yes,
I guess we're done.
I'm actually dead. No, we're not done. I'm still here.
Oh.
Yeah, all zombies aren't decaying and eating flesh. There's zombies like me that just kind of walk around hanging out.
Yeah.
I can just get in and out of shows easier. So it's not too bad. Being dead's all right, whatever. Yeah, April 13th, it said that I was dead, which you're laughing at, but I'll tell you what, this is a true story. On April 13th, I was extra careful that day. Can you imagine if I really did die on April 13th after I read it? Like, and then I'm looking at my phone and get hit by a bus, and it's it happened, it's true. And I go for a bike ride around my house, and it's kind of a rural area, so there's always cars driving by. And that time I was like, every car I was convinced I'm going to get hit and die, and it's going to all be true. It's the irony. The irony surrounding Jericho's death. So, but yes, I can honestly say that I am not dead.
Yes.
And that was not true. So 1 for the not true category on the Wikipedia review.
There's your first fiction and exclusive.
Yeah, there you go. Exclusive.
By the way.
Hey, there's exclusive Loudwire story, Jericho not dead.
Yeah. And true story, not too long ago, I actually had a dream that Chris Jericho was dead.
Wow.
And that he could not come in for this segment. I swear. So
if I couldn't come in, I would just cancel. I wouldn't have to die to not make it. Trust me. If I didn't want to be here, I would just say I'm not coming in today.
I guess that's the better option.
Yeah.
All right. So your full name, according to Wikipedia, Christopher Keith Irvine.
That's true.
True. Okay. Fact.
True.
1 and 1.
Fact. Yes.
You're
fun.
Your father, Ted Irvine, played professional hockey for the New York Rangers.
True.
True. That's fact.
Yeah,
All right.
70 to 75, he played for the Rangers.
Damn. Anyone else?
Yeah, he played for the Kings, the first LA Kings team, and he was from 67 to 70, and then he played for the Blues from 75 to 77.
Okay,
and that's why I was a dual citizen, because I was born in Manhasset on the island, even though my parents were Canadian.
Sure.
So,
with that, did you grow up playing hockey? Was there any pressure to become a big hockey star yourself?
I played, but I just wasn't interested. I was interested in being in a rock band and being a wrestler. Those are the two things I was really into, and I just really wasn't very good at hockey either. I tried.
Really?
So I think my dad knew that I just didn't really. It'd be different if I was really good and just didn't apply myself. But I think he knew, all right, kid, you're not going to be playing any pro hockey soon, so you should try that music wrestling thing out instead.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah. You attended Red River Community College. You took a course in creative communications, and you graduated with top honors.
Well, all of that is true. Graduating with top honors, not sure. I did make the honor roll 1 semester out of 6.
Ooh.
So I don't know if that means graduating with top honors, but one semester I got top honors. So I guess it's kind of true.
All right,
Not bad.
that's a fact.
And it was in journalism.
Journalism?
Yeah, so I was doing interviews like you are for class.
Yeah, I feel like I'm about to get fired, actually.
Yes,
now
I
that we
would
know this.
highly recommend that.
Your desire to become a pro wrestler came when you saw footage of Owen Hart compete in the Stampede Wrestling promotion.
Not really true. I decided I wanted to be a wrestler a few years before that. I used to watch with my grandma at her house, and I really got enamored with wrestling. And I mean, seeing Owen Hart definitely put the icing on the cake, but I was already kind of thinking about it because I grew up in Winnipeg. And I had a band, but there really wasn't much of a scene. The big band from Winnipeg was the Guess Who, 20 years earlier. And then the only other band that really made it huge was the Crash Test Dummies. Remember that?
I remember that.
Super deep voice. And they came around about 94, and I'd already left Winnipeg. So you basically had the Guess Who in 72, and the Crash Test Dummies in 92, and not much in between. So I thought, well, maybe I'll go try this wrestling thing and get out of Winnipeg.
Cool.
So, so Owen Hart, influential for sure.
Sure.
So, kind of half true.
Awesome wrestler. Awesome.
Yes.
Your first experience with a wrestling promotion was when you were part of the ring crew for the first tour of the Keystone Wrestling Alliance.
That's true.
That's true.
I was part of the ring crew, and we did a tour of Indian reservations.
Whoa.
Where you would travel in northern Manitoba for 24 hours to get to a reservation, and then find out that maybe there's maybe a pow. And this is not joking, a powwow that happened to be on the same night, and the Indian people would drop off their kids at the wrestling and then go to the powwow. So you'd have like 100 crazy, unruly kids just running over trying to pickpocket you and steal your stuff. And then you'd have to go sleep in a high school gymnasium on a mat and go to Hudson Bay Company, which was like the trading post thing. This is like real. And you'd get a jar of peanut butter for like $30. Like it was super expensive. That was the first tour that I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pro wrestling babysitting.
Pro wrestling babysitting,
How
yeah,
about that?
because of the powwow. And we went to another one that was like one reservation, 24 hours. Another 18 hours reservation that we didn't find until we got that the show was canceled because somebody had died and everybody was at the funeral.
Ooh.
So it's like, okay, see you later. Back to so the early days, man. Yeah.
Wow. In 1990, you had your debut match under the name of Cowboy Chris Jericho without the H in Jericho.
Oh, that's because they spelt my name wrong. Yeah. Just like Rick Emmett from Triumph was R-I-K because on the first record they forgot the C and left it off.
Oh.
So, but yes, I was Cowboy Chris Jericho without the H from Casper, Wyoming. And the reason for that is I trained in Calgary and they decided they wanted me to be a cowboy, and I hate cowboys. No offense to any cowboys watching. And I just did not. I was a rocker dude, man. Like I wanted to, I wanted to be the Paul Stanley of wrestling and the David Lee Roth of wrestling. I don't want to be a cowboy. And so the compromise was that I didn't have to wear a cowboy outfit, but they still were going to say that I was from Casper, Wyoming. So, and no offense to the fine people of Casper.
And that gimmick is still better than the Mountie.
Well, yeah, at least he had a taser, though.
He
A
did.
tasing rod, yeah.
For the record, I love the Mountie. You took the name Jericho from the album Walls of Jericho by Helloween.
Yes, that's true.
And the finishing maneuver as well, Walls of Jericho?
Well, originally I was going to call myself Jack Action after the obscure Wasp song. And I remember I was writing Jack Action, like practicing my my autograph. Jack Action. Oh, this is cool. Put a star on the end of it, like Paul Stanley used to sign Paul Stanley with a star.
Nice.
I signed Jack Action with a star. And Lance Storm, who was training with me as well, looked at my binder that I had and said, Jack Action? That's a stupid name. What does that mean? I'm like, oh, nothing. I know it's a stupid name. It's just fun to write. And I'm like, I need a name. And I was, Helloween, Walls of Jericho cassette was in the car. And I said, Chris Helloween. No. Chris Walls. No. Chris Jericho. And that's where it came from. And then the Walls of Jericho was years later. My finishing move was called the Lion Tamer. Mm-hmm. And when I went to the WWE, Ken Shamrock was there, who had the Lion's Den. And Vince wanted me to change it. He's like, oh, we have too many lions around here. You need to change it. So they actually had this creative department that their job was to come up with names. And so they gave me this list of names for this finishing move. And one of them was the Salad Shooter. One of them was the Rock and Roll Finisher. One of them was the Huge Insult. I'm not sure exactly what that was. And the other one was the Standing Torture Device, the STD. People are getting paid to come up with this stuff. And I just said, well, how about we just call it the Walls of Jericho? And Vince, I love it. And as a funny story, when you sign with the WWE, you have to sign your autograph because they use that on the back of, toys or on cups, like anything with this Chris Jericho. And the only time I ever signed Chris Jericho with the Paul Stanley star, and then I stopped doing that. To this day, I'll still see that autograph on new merch. The Chris Jericho autograph with the Paul Stanley star on the end of it. So they haven't changed it in 15 years.
That makes it more of a collector's
Even more
item.
so, yeah.